Hello and welcome to this short tutorial of authoring basics with Rapid Intake. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about how to create a new project within mLearning Studio and eLearning Studio. My name is Jeff Batt, and let's go ahead and review what we'll be covering in this recording. When you're starting a new project, the first thing we'll talk about is starting a new project within a Rapid Intake course. Now, whether it be a project or a course or anything like that, whether it be an mLearning Studio or eLearning Studio, it's the same way that you start a new project or a new course. So we'll talk about making a flash course if you're just making flash courses, but we'll also talk about making mobile courses as well, getting that started. We'll talk about also making flash and mobile. If you're trying to target both flash and mobile or desktop and mobile devices, then flash and mobile is the best way to start a new project. So we'll talk about that. Then we'll talk about project settings and picking your course style and then assigning a project to other users within your install as well. So I first of all want to make sure that we understand the difference between flash and mobile. Now flash courses, they have some benefits as far as flash courses are best viewed on desktop. Not all mobile devices support flash, and that's why flash is best viewed on like a laptop or a regular computer or something like that. Now the nice thing about it is you can target Mac, Windows, and Linux users. It can be viewed from any browser, and it's the same across all browsers. So if you know that this is the way it looks like in Safari, well, it's going to look the same way inside of Chrome as well. And that's one of the nice benefits about Flash, is the consistent looking content across the board. Now, it does have customizable skins and pages, and so if you are a Flash developer, this is a benefit to you because you can customize the look, the next button, the back button, the media controller, the table of contents. You can pretty much go in there. We give you all of the FLA and all of the ActionScript files, so you can go in there and customize to your heart's content, and you can create your own custom pages and everything like that, and then upload it and use mLearning Studio and eLearning Studio as a catalyst for actually other people to use what you've created without having to be a programmer. So all they have to do, other people, is just go in and fill out the form or pick the style, and you can leverage that using mLearning Studio or eLearning Studio. Now, the output of these flash courses will work with any LMS, Score 1.2 or 2004, also AICC compliant on the learning management system. They are simple step-by-step forms to build. Again, we talked a little bit about the customization capabilities, but for the end user, it's a very simple start. You can go through and you can start adding pages just by going through the wizard-style pages. We do have a visual layout page as well that allows you to directly position stuff, which we'll talk about in other tutorials. But for the most part, most of the pages are just simple step-by-step forms. And then you can use other Flash content. This is the nice thing, is you're not restricted on the pages that we have in there. You can actually pull in other Flash content or Flash animations and use them inside of our course players, and that works as kind of a SCORM wrapper. So if you're trying to take a bunch of Flash files and wrap them all into SCORM, you can use one of our players to do that. And the nice thing about Flash so far is you get better looking and performing animations. So you can do animations with HTML5 and stuff like that, but Flash has a couple years, well, actually a lot of years ahead of HTML5 right now. So you can do a lot more consistent, a lot more better looking animations right now in Flash than you can do in HTML until that kind of matures and gets adopted a little bit more. Now, as far as mobile courses, all mobile courses are HTML5, and these courses can be accessed from any device. So you have iOS devices like the iPad or the iPhone. They can go to these courses from their device and still take the course that you've built. And like I mentioned, it is HTML5, so that you get all the iOS devices, iPhone, iPod, and iPad. You also get all the Android tablets and the iPhones. Android tablets and phones, and so you can make sure that if they have an Android device, it'll show just fine on the Android device. If they have an iOS device, it'll show just fine on the iOS device. Same goes with the BlackBerry touchscreens. And the nice thing about this is you can use touch screen gestures like swipe to go through the different pages. So if the learner has it on their phone, they can just use their thumb to swipe through the different pages, kind of like they do with a book. Now the content adapts for all screen resolutions, so you don't have to worry about it. You just build it once, but you don't have to worry about, okay, how's this going to look like on the phone, or how's this going to look like on the tablet? The content, like we see in this picture here, you can see it's the same page that I have screenshots of, and the content for the mobile phone is basically adapts to the phone, and then it's bigger for the tablet. So you don't have to worry about that. That's automatically taken care of. And you get still full course navigation features with access to glossaries, with transcripts, with index table of contents, and so you can have topics and subtopics and everything within there, and have your page content within the mobile content or within the mobile player as well. And that will allow HTML5 inputs, so you can upload your custom that's coming out soon. You can upload custom HTML5 and use it inside of your mobile courses as well. Now, but the huge benefit with Rapid Intake, with our mLearning Studio and our eLearning Studio tools, is the fact that you don't have to target one or the other, or you don't have to build the same course for mobile and then just turn around and build the same course for Flash. Is you can do all of that at once, and so you can do Flash and mobile. And so you build it once and deploy everywhere. So you build it once for the Flash, and then you deploy it. It'll also adapt to the phone. So if the learner comes to the same URL that you have for your desktop, for example, they come to the same URL from their mobile phone, it will automatically recognize that they're on a phone and display the HTML5 phone content instead of the Flash content. So the learner's not out of luck just seeing a white screen. They will actually see content still, and that's the nice thing about being able to deploy to both Flash and mobile and then having it auto-recognize. So you build your content in one spot and deploy to both Flash and mobile, and it publishes one course package. And so when you upload it to the learning management system, you don't have to upload multiple different courses and assign multiple different courses to the same user. You just basically upload one package, and if the learner logs into the LMS from their mobile phone, it will automatically recognize that. Or if they go to it from their desktop, it'll automatically recognize that they're on their desktop. Now, computer or mobile devices shows best content. That's where I was talking about, is it'll automatically say, okay, if you're on the phone, this is the best content for the phone. And then all interactions will be supported. All of the different pages that are inside of Rapid Intake for the Flash side will be converted over to all the mobile side as well. And then you can take advantages of both types of methods. You don't have to choose one. Okay, it's Flash, or it's mobile, or it's HTML, or even though HTML is not all the way there yet, then you're having to compromise with that. But in this case, you're not. You're basically getting both Flash and mobile in one course package. Now, you fill out the same form for both methods. You don't have to fill it out twice. When you actually build it, you fill out the same content, the same interactions, and then it will automatically adapt to whatever Flash or mobile device it has. And then you deploy it. You can deploy it to mobile mSync for offline delivery. This means that you actually have the ability to, for mobile courses, to use our mSync tool, which is a downloadable application that the learner can download on their iPhone or their Android tablet or their Android phone. And they can actually download courses so they can actually play it offline. So if they're on an airplane or something like that, they can take the course and then sync it back up to the server after that. So let's go ahead and talk about how to get started here. So let me go ahead and rearrange my window a little bit. Okay, so once I'm logged into a project, if I want to start a new project, I just come over to the right-hand side where it says Add a Project. Now, just like we talked about in the User section, you do need to be a manager or an administrator in order to start a new project. If you're not, then you'll need to talk to your administrator for your account and have them upgrade you to a manager or an administrator. If I click on Add a Project, now it takes me to two different types of projects that I can upload. You can upload a project that you've built somewhere else with a different tool like Articulate or Lectora, and you can actually upload it and have people review and leave you comments and suggestions right within this tool. So it supports other authoring tools in order to use our review feedback area, which we'll talk about in later trainings. Or you can click on Author and Review. This means that you're going to build the course inside of Rapid Intake, and you're going to have it reviewed inside of Rapid Intake as well. So the next thing it takes me to is my project information. Now my project information just asks me for my project name. Now this is usually the course title, so whatever the course title that you're working with, you just type it in here. You can always change this later if you wanted to, but for now, let's say I'm building a course about customer service. I'm going to go ahead and just type in customer service. Now, I can select from the drop-down box all of the different users in my system, and let's say I'm going to assign myself as the project lead, or if I'm going to assign somebody else as the project lead, I can do that. I can notify them by email. I can also either start from a new empty course or start from a course template. Now, a new empty course basically just starts you from scratch. You can go ahead and just start adding pages and different content in there. Or start from course template actually allows you to start from, let's say you already created a project and you have an introduction page that's going to be the same across multiple different projects. Well, if you save that introduction page and whatever other settings that you've set up or whatever pages you set up as a template, well, that means you can start new projects from that template and just start adding on and to those projects. But it will already have that intro page for you. It'll already have, let's say, that quiz page that's the same across the board, and it just helps speed up time if you have some elements that are the same across every single course. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and click on Start with Empty Course. Now, the next thing is it allows me to pick whether it's a Flash, a mobile, or a Flash and mobile course. Like we talked about the differences between the Flash, the mobile, and the Flash and mobile. It depends on what you're trying to target here. So in this case, if I was going to build just a Flash course, all I would have to do is choose Flash. Or if I do Flash and mobile, I can do that as well. If you're not sure, what I would do is recommend just starting a Flash and mobile course. The reason why is because you could deploy the course as just a Flash course at a later time if you're not ready to do mobile yet, but then you have the option to do mobile. Otherwise, if you start just Flash, then you can't switch that course over without having to rebuild it or go through support or something like that to make it a Flash and mobile course. So if you're unsure, I always recommend starting out with Flash and mobile and then just deploying just mobile or deploying just Flash if you're not ready for the other one. Now the other option that we have where you can see is optional. If I select that, it actually gives me more options here. I can assign this project to a group, which groups organize your different projects within the authoring tab. And so if I know what project I want to place it in, I can do that, or it'll just automatically assign it to the first one. I can also give it a due date whenever the project is due. And then down here, I can set up reminders. Now, reminders actually allows me to remind people or other people or myself about different projects or different whatever reminders you want to set up. So if I come down here and I say, okay, let me remind myself. So I'm going to select Jeff here, and I'm going to remind myself, let's say 2 weeks before or after the due date. So here I'm going to compose myself an email. So I'm going to say, Jeff, remember that this project is due in 2 weeks. And then I can just click Add Reminder. Now, actually, I must have a due date before that because it needs to know when the reminder or when to send out the email. So I'm just going to click Add Reminder now, and it's just added a reminder above here, and I can either remove or I can edit that reminder. If I come back here, I can start adding more reminders. You can have as many reminders as you want. And once I've set up those reminders, I can just click Go to Next Step. Now I can come back into the Admin tab later, and I can change those reminders at a later time if I wanted to. So if you don't know what reminders you want at first, then you can go ahead and you can add your reminders in later. So the next step is to actually pick a course interface style. Now the first interface that I'm going to be presented with is the Flash interface. On the next step, you're going to pick the mobile interface, but for now, I just need to pick the Flash interface. Now we have a lot of different interfaces to choose from. As far as the Flash side goes, you can also upload your own custom interface, and so if you've built a custom interface, you can upload and use that as well. If you're not sure exactly, you can come over to the left-hand side and you can filter out different interfaces if you're looking for something specific. And then once you're ready, you just select on the interface that you want and then click on Go to Next Step down at the bottom. Now, because this is a Flash and mobile course, it'll present me with the different mobile course interfaces. And you can also upload a custom interface. But if I select one of these interfaces, I can just click Go to Next Step here. And this is where I go in and I assign other people to my project. So you can see if I have a reviewer here, like John, I want him to review the course. Then I just select him, and that way when he logs in, he'll be able to see this course. If I don't assign him this course, he will actually not see this course when he logs in. Same goes with developers. Now managers, they can't see the course unless they're assigned. Administrators could go into the admin tab and they can view all projects across the board, so they could technically assign themselves at a later point, but if they're not on this project to begin with, you don't want to clutter up their My Courses area. So in that case, just assign those people that are going to be working on this project with you. Now from here, I would click on Create My Project. When I click on Create My Project, it'll have a progress bar here that will tell me how long I have until the project is created. Now, just for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and click on Authoring up on top here, and I'm going to go to one course that's already been built. And as soon as that progress bar was done, this is the next screen that it would take me to. And you can see where I have 4 buttons: Build and Modify the course, Test the course, Manage the issues, and then Deploy the course. And so if I'm ready to start building my course, I just click on Build, Modify the course, and then I can start adding pages and content inside of there. Test the course allows me to make comments and suggestions on the course. Manage the issues allows me to take all of the comments and suggestions that have been made and to manage those, make assignments, and to make sure everything is taken care of. And then the last step is to go ahead and deploy the course. So that is how you go ahead and get a project or a course started inside of mLearning or eLearning Studio. And in future recordings, we'll be talking about the authoring tab or the authoring section and going over all the different types of pages and different options there. And then we'll talk about review, which will include the test the course, manage the issues, and then we'll talk about deploy the course. And so check out our other recordings to see what you do in these sections, but that is how you get a project started.